Welcome to Shots of Inspiration. Today I want to share with you how the questions that we ask ourselves can directly impact on our confidence and our resilience levels. Now that's because the questions that we use inside our heads are a reflection of our self-narrative, or the story that we've created about ourselves. So what we assume about who we are and how powerful we are in the world gets reflected in the types of questions that we ask about our experiences. And that's particularly true in situations where things have gone wrong. So if we're asking questions that imply that things are happening to us and that we are powerless, then that's a reflection of the fact that we actually believe that we are powerless or we're helpless to make changes in our lives. And really successful coaches and really successful facilitators listen really carefully when we're working with clients to pick up on the signs that someone is telling that sort of disempowering story about themselves. And we then ask questions that help our clients to be able to change the way that they relate to their experiences. And what happens as that changes is that, of course, people begin to feel more in charge of their own destiny. So let me just give you a really simple example. I was working with a client a few years ago who'd had a number of things go wrong and ultimately had ended up losing their job for a short amount of time. And when he came to me for coaching, he was feeling great sense of despair and overwhelm, as though things were never going to get better. And at one point early in our conversation, he said to me, "But why is this happening to me?" And that's a very classic sign that someone is putting themselves in a helpless and powerless role within their self-narrative. Someone who feels powerful doesn't ask, "Why is this happening?" What's interesting is that when we are feeling at high levels of confidence and we're feeling at our most resourceful and our most resilient, we ask questions like, "What can I do about this?" In other words, we ask solution-oriented rather than cause-oriented type questions. So with someone who is in that state of mind, a good coach is going to really focus on teaching that person to be able to change that internal dialogue, to be able to ask themselves better and more empowering sorts of questions. And we do that by teaching alternative ways of thinking. And sometimes we'll even talk about the way that we think about thinking, so that our clients start to understand essentially what they're doing to themselves. So what could be some ways that my client could think differently? Well, he could ask questions like, "What do I want instead of what's going on in my life right now?" Or he could say, "What's working for me right now? What can I take advantage of in my current circumstances? How can I find ways to feel happy and resourceful and empowered in this situation? How quickly can I start to make some changes? What is it that I'm going to be doing tomorrow that is going to take me towards a better and happier and more empowered future?" All of these questions come from the meta model in neuro-linguistic programming, and they essentially come from looking at the work of really successful therapists who accelerate change in their clients. Successful therapists don't focus on how a problem emerged or who's responsible for a problem. What they focus our attention on is, how can we make a difference? What can we change? And most importantly, how can we start to have a higher sense of self-agency and feel that we are in control of our own destiny? So I hope that those ideas and those few examples of some solution-oriented questions are useful to you. And just remember, our aim in working with anyone is to always ensure that you ask great questions of yourself and you don't become dependent on a facilitator or a coach. But if you get to the point where you're finding it really hard to come up with empowering questions for yourself, always remember that we can help you with coaching, we can help you with training, and there are always resources there ready for you whenever you need them. So I look forward to hearing how you put these tips into action, and I hope that you begin asking some really powerful questions from now on. Find out more about boosting your confidence and resilience by enrolling in one of my workshops or coaching programs. Or if you're a practitioner, download my free ebook, The Positive Psychology Toolkit for HR and L&D practitioners. There's links for both those resources beneath this video.